trust building is something that's arrived at often through practice and ongoing experience. There are functional levels of trust that we arrive at. There are people in your lives that you have lived with or experienced life with that you might literally trust your life to. That in the worst circumstance in your life, you might call upon in faith and trust that they would help you or care. There are people that you might trust to give you a lift to the grocery store, and you wouldn't trust them to manage you as a boss or manage your food and shelter decisions. These functional levels of trust can be arrived at proactively. They can be built, they can be nurtured, they can be curated, they can be fed. If we choose to do so, choose to build towards trust and faith in each other, rather than trying to figure ever more safe ways to protect ourselves from each other that just end up becoming a preoccupation that generates disunity. The commitment and the potential to arrive at commitment to each other is based upon optimally love, trust, and faith and care, both for self and for other equally. If we have true commitment, it will remain motivating and our motivations will support it. If we don't have true faith and trust and love and care, if our motivations are other than sustainable motivations, then they won't lead to sustained action and effort that supports that ongoing commitment to the well-being of other. And therefore, it will come back to us as some sort of problem in the near term or the long term. And in our case, collectively as a planet, it will generate climate change or unresolved dynamics of COVID or social disunity and hatred. So conscious collaboration without ego or putting self-interest first or always or highest as a priority is a necessity. There's always the potential for trust to either to increase or be diminished in any moment by a single word. How many people in our world were either accepted or trusted or cared about or thought well of until they said one sentence that exposed a dimension of bigotry or prejudice in regard to some other component, other person, or some other component of society? Now, the question we would ask is, what, before that person made that statement that people then judged and vilified and attacked them for and claimed victimhood in regard to, was that person trustworthy or not? Did they suddenly become non-trustworthy? Were they always non-trustworthy? Are they still trustworthy and we just don't trust them? Or is there some component of their system that is, as of yet, not aligned with functioning in a healthy, sustainable, socially acceptable way? And we would ask, why is this question vitally important to be answered here, today, now, and moving forward for every human interaction if we're going to build love, care, faith, and trust in each other? Truly, no one is perfect. No one knows everything. No one understands everything. No one is always kind. No one is always caring and loving and wonderful. No, everyone has a bad day. Everyone has made either destructive or negative choices in the past. If we cannot forgive, adjust, repair, and move on, if our only antidote to perceiving another to not meet our expectations, we're not saying not a good person, we're saying they've not met our expectations of good personness, our definitions, our standards, our metrics. If we cannot forgive them and love them, how do we create unity with them? How do we unify humanity? If we have the Israelis that are at odds with the Arabs of various nations, must there be forgiveness in order for there to be unity and thus unified collective action for the common good? Must that forgiveness occur on both sides and optimally simultaneously? And could we say the same of every culture in the world, every religion in the world, every group in the world, every nation in the world, every gender in the world? Is it just the same thing in every case? Forgiveness does not mean allowing ourselves to be walked on or abused or attacked over and over and over again. It means letting go of the attachment and aversion to what we experienced in the past and creating space for the possibility of positive, constructive change in relationship or social or interpersonal interaction. It also means forgiving ourselves so that we create space within ourselves for positive change, growth, learning, and adjustment to occur, and thus to live with internal peace, inner harmony, and wholesome empowerment.